Welcome to another TeleDynes live stream. All right, so just another quick one today. I'm again getting ready to head out to another show, and it's a luau, as you can see by this shirt here. Anyway, give a little bit of updates here on the channel. Of course, I've been talking about the video that's coming up. I've got it recorded, edited, all ready to go for the most part. There's a couple little things I got to put the tab in, and a couple other like little finishing touches to the edit, mix it, and then upload it. So definitely this week. I don't see why that's the latest would be next Friday, and then after that, my schedule is still crazy busy for this month. So the uploads are going to be spotty until probably the middle of October, roughly around there, and then I'll have time to start getting to more videos and more consistent uploads. But in the meantime, I'll still be doing this every weekend. The times are going to change and fluctuate even at the last minute. I originally was going to do this earlier at 1 o'clock, but I had a couple other things to take care of, and then ended up pushing it back a little bit. So next week, I believe we're doing it. I can look at the calendar here. Should be, where are we? Yeah, next week is actually at the original time. We're going to do it at 4 on Saturday, unless something crazy comes up, which the way things are going, you never know. Anyway, so had a gig last night. Played at a place in Providence called Nicanese. It was a great show. Had a good crowd, a good flow to the sets. We did 2 long sets, and we played some new originals. 12/8 original that's got a bunch of these little tritone substitution chord changes and stuff in there. So kind of an experiment in having all of these changes. So I go F, and I go to the third, 6, and then here comes the A flat. Kind of a nice little progression, and then the turnaround. Back to the 1. Bridge is pretty standard, flat. And it has this little modulation there in the 2 where it goes 1. To B flat, just goes up dramatically, a half step. Then we did this other little 60s type song that I've got coming out. That's kind of the main riff from it, and that's a fun song to play. And I brought the Space Echo out again, and I finally got it fixed. The reverb's still a little wonky, but I don't really use it all that much, so I didn't really. It creates a hiss in there, but if you kind of tap it on the side of the unit, kind of give it a little, just hit it a little bit, knock it, it'll kind of click in. and the hiss will go away. But there was a little arm. The main problem with it was that I thought it sounded great before, but it wasn't giving me that everyone says, "Oh, you get this nice tape saturation and the preamp in this thing and everything's great." And to be honest, the last couple of times I used it, I was like, "Yeah, it's good, and it's loud and everything, and I'm hearing the analog delay, but I'm not hearing what's supposed to be there." And part of that is because the little arm in there that was holding the tape against the tape heads wasn't tight enough, and it's a funny thing that just a little adjustment on that. I put a new arm in there with a new pad. Just a little adjustment on that made all the difference in the world. Now all of a sudden it's loud. The tape is there. It is kind of funny that if you turn, I had to turn the tape volume up quite a bit, and I thought, oh well, that's standard. You put it like at 12 o'clock or whatever. And I'm almost tempted to redo the delay video that I did to have that new sound in there, or maybe even reamp the for the official release of the album. I can reamp the guitar with the space echo and stuff. It sounds pretty good for the taken chances, but I might do that. But anyway, the saturation's there, everything. If you turn the tape volume up now, you start getting that weird warble sound, almost like a chorus. Borderline sounds out of tune. But if you turn it down, you don't get that, but you still get the delay. So it's just learning the little ins and outs of analog tape delay. And when it works, it was kicking. It was really something. It really had that sound. It had that perfect breakup, no attenuator, just um I had the amp at around like 5 treble and presence maxed out, and the bass was around like 4 or 5 or something like that. And that, man, that's the sound at least. And it's hard to go back to the your standard delay pedals when after you experience that. Anyway, so I was saying about in the title for the video, I gave a little update on the new video that's coming out, Rockabilly endings. So the thing you run into, whether you're writing a song or whether you're covering a song or whatever, is you run into the standard ending, and it's almost impossible to avoid it. And what I mean by that is that the walk up from the 5. Um, so the rhythm is always the same, pretty much for a lot of this stuff. It's always bop 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 bop, right? So there's a couple of things you can do to kind of couple little endings that you can add a little flourishes in there to make it a little bit different. And one of them that I like to do is this one. You're still hitting that, but you add a little bit before it, right? Another one, of course you can go whatever rhythm you want to do, anything to avoid, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's one of those things that just kind of overplayed, a little predictable. You want to I try to figure out ways to not do that unless that's the way the song is and everybody kind of knows it that way. Another one I like is this one here. This is kind of strange. Right? And that's kind of playing on the flat 5 there, the blues scale. Just adds a little bit of a different flair to it. Can always do something like that. The country stuff usually will go up like that, right? You'll see that. They'll hit that. Or do a bend up to it. Or you can do a pre-bend here. Do a little, just, you're kind of raising the third there to the fourth real quick and then back down. Real quick, almost right as you're hitting it. Or you can bend up to the third. You can do it here. You can do it there. The A or this this A. This one you can't really go down. It's really awkward. Bit of a stretch there, but you could do this one. You're playing off of this A here, and then back off of that A. And whatever you want to do. But for the swinging stuff, a lot of the stuff will end like with that pop, 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 pop. So you can also do something like this. Just the same thing over and over again. At the end, what's the ending to Rock This Town? Has that almost country. Right? It was in D, but so those are other endings that you can put in as opposed to just doing the standard. Right? Everybody knows that from Rock Around the Clock. But yeah, that's usually kind of one of the things about rockabilly that always try to, unless I'm intentionally doing it for the song, especially if I'm writing an original tune, is to not do that. And just because it's so overplayed, and I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but if you're playing a song and you're like, oh, I want to end this song, but it's like we've already done this like 4 or 5 times. It's like, okay, we need to have something a little bit more interesting. So that's where that can come in. As far as, you know, intros are always can be tough as well. Trying to write an intro for something. I mean, you can always start the song, whatever the rhythm is. A lot of this will depend on the lyric structure, melody structure, all of that sort of thing. So you never really know what that's the creating the solos and the riffs and the intros and all of that stuff is usually done last. So the core of your song, I guess this is getting more into songwriting than anything, at least for me. I'll usually write the lyrics. Some lyrical thing will come to me, or it'll be a rhythm, something. Occasionally there'll be a riff that will come to me as well. It depends on one little piece of it, but you know that that's the riff. Okay, I'll figure out where I can put that in there. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. You think that that's going to be the main riff for the song, and it's not, and it ends up not even making it into the song or in there in a different way. But the core of your song is basically your verses, your chorus, your A B. You know, if there's a bridge or whatever, and just write that structure. Don't worry about riffs or things in between or solos or any of that stuff. Just the core of that, as you could just play the chords on an acoustic or an electric or whatever, and just play and sing the song, and you got your melody and then your lyrics, and Doesn't really matter which order they come to you in, as long as something. And sometimes it helps to write backwards. So you start at the end of the song and say, how could I end this? Um, where's the subject matter going to end, or where's the music going to end? And then go to the start with the third verse, or start with the a lot of the times it's good to go with a chorus if that's what you want in the song. If you want a chorus, the old what's the phrase? Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Um, Method of songwriting. So you don't want to take too long in your intros and verses and stuff like that. You want to get to the hook as quickly as possible. Um, that's what I was told from some. I forget where I heard that before, but and a lot of most pop songs within the last 40, 50 years, they pretty much all follow that format. Um, it's been a long time since any mainstream song has had a long um, intro before getting to the part of you know the chorus, the hook part. Rock operas notwithstanding, obviously, but um, the but yeah, and then then you can add in your little riffs and your solos, and that's the fun part, at least for me. Once the core of the song is written, then you can sit there and I'll come up with little solos, little riffs, little effects, or whatever you're going to try to do to flesh out the tune and make it more interesting and make it fun. And with Rockabilly, you're the only guitar player, so I have to be somewhat conscious if I'm going to play the song live that you don't want to have too many overlaying parts where you run into, well, I can't duplicate this live. So and I've done that to myself several times, and I have to figure out some other way of playing it. So that's where your rhythm and chord melody stuff can come in. If you have like an individual line, then you can you just add a chorded version of it, right? Um, I have this instrumental of like a slow surf rock instrumental, and the way I wrote it was a kind of a call and response between the melody and then either a horn section or an organ or something like that. When I go to play it live, I I can't. I'd have to play those other little parts, and so that's an example. I'm still working on that, trying to figure out a way to play that live, because that's probably the next tune that I'll be releasing on the channel. Would be because it's the easiest one to mix, because I don't have to worry about vocals or anything like that, and it's pretty sad. Well, actually, no, I forgot. It's got an overdub part that's got to be done. So that might be a little bit longer. So it'll probably be the Cattle Kate song that's next, because that and this other one called another kind of rock tune that's got a riff like this. Bluesy, kind of a blues thing. Um, those are the two that I'm mixing right now, and then I had started working. I was working on the instrumental, and then um, realized just as I'm talking now, yeah, I realized I forgot it's got to have either. Was going to put horn section on it, but now I decided, no, I'm just going to put an organ on it, because the horns don't really work. They can work with surf, but for this tune, it's a slow 4/4, so the horns it changes the sound completely. It sounds a little weird, I think, but you never know. Everything's organic. Nothing's ever written in stone. Art is done, or music is done when you say it's done. So that's that's really the core of it. Anyway, so like I said, I'm going to keep this really short today and get ready to head out here within the next half hour or so, and got about an hour drive or so down to down to the party, down to the gig, and it's going to be primarily, since it's a luau, we'll be focusing mostly on the surf rock stuff. So a lot of that stuff. And yeah, a lot of straight eights and a lot of stuff like that. Bop, bop, bop. The twist beat, surf beat. Cool. Oh, you're welcome, Mitch Martin. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so real short this week, and then I'll have the video up next week. So I'm gonna go get ready. Thank you guys again for liking, subscribing. Sorry this one has to be so short, but until next week, I will see you guys then. Hi, Gizmodus. Glad you stopped by. Like I'm just about to sign off actually, because yeah, this is it's a crazy hectic weekend, and it looks like my schedule's about to this month is going to be crazy busy. Next week is I got one little reprieve next week on Saturday. So next week will be a longer stream, and I won't have any time limit on that one. So that's going to be at the same the original time at 4 o'clock next Saturday. Unless something crazy, unless I get some sort of random gig or something like that, it could possibly happen, but at the moment, nothing is scheduled. So I'll be looking forward to that and the next video, and I will see you guys then. Have a good one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. And thank you guys again for subscribing to the channel and watching the videos and everything. Can't wait to get into some more content very soon. All right. Thank you guys again. Have a good one. See you guys later.